Hey everybody, thanks for joining How to Work as a Locum Optometrist or Contact Lens Optician in 2022. My name is Stevie McIntyre. We're here live on LinkedIn and we are really excited to present this presentation. I'm the marketing lead here at Located Locum. So what I've done over the last 3 years at Located Locum is help 20,000 healthcare professionals get into temporary work. And we do that through using our technology as the platform to facilitate temporary shifts for opticians and optometrists. I'm joined here by Justina Fitzsimmons, who's our recruitment lead. Justina, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, thank you, Stevie. Yes, my name is Justina Fitzsimmons. I'm leading the operations side of the business. Therefore, anything connected with live shifts, the rates, negotiations, I will be the point of contact for yourself. So hopefully, Stevie can share my details at the end of the show. And you are more than welcome to reach out to me individually.
Perfect. Thanks, Justina. So just a little bit of housekeeping on the presentation tonight. So we're going to share some slides and we're going to talk you through what we think are really great practices in 2022. We're going to show you a little bit about our platform and our software and how it works. And then what else we're going to do is we're going to take you through some tips that we've collated from other Locum optometrists to give the best experience of working as an optometrist or contact lens optician in 2022. So here is the formal agenda. So the other bit of housekeeping is if you want to interact with the presentation, please just comment underneath the post on LinkedIn and we get the comments live here. So we'll either stop if the comment's pertinent to what we're talking about and we'll answer the questions, or we've got a live Q&A at the end. So the setup of the event is we're going to talk a little bit about Located Locum, who are we, why we're doing this presentation, and then we're going to talk about how to use technology to find the right shift in seconds. We're going to talk about an awkward thing that not many people like talking about. We're going to talk about negotiating a fair rate. We're going to talk about how to find work and how to keep work. And then we're going to talk about how to manage your diary and keep track of bookings and earnings. Because again, that's something that if people are working in multiple places, it's sometimes hard to do that unless you've got a real method or a process around it. So hopefully this is going to be really interesting. And again, I would encourage as much sort of input from the audience as possible. We don't really want this to be just a talking shop. We want guys to give their opinion on certain things, and we'll stop at a couple of occasions and ask questions to the audience. So hopefully everyone can see my screen okay. Justina, can you just confirm you can see my screen okay?
Yes, Stevie, I can see it, yeah.
Okay, perfect. And yeah, and Justina, if you could do me a favor and just look at LinkedIn on your phone and just confirm as well while I'm going through. So I'm just concerned that what I'm seeing now is the event screen, and hope it's just not just showing that on instead of the actual presentation.
Yeah.
All good?
I'll join now.
So what I'll do is I'll just crack on while Justina's going to confirm. If we need to, we can go back at any sort of stage. So what I usually do in webinars to get a feeling of who's on this and who's looking live at the presentation, we always ask, what do you want to get out of this? Like, why have you joined? Why have you registered? Is there something in particular you'd like to know? And then if you put your comments into the question. Okay, so I can see a LinkedIn user that said that's all I can see. Let me see if there's some technical issues that we can just. I'm gonna reshare my screen and just see if that works a little bit better. So okay, can everyone see that or not? Some technical issues as usual with technology, always something that happens. 1 sec, I'm just going to try and get this sorted. Do you know what I think it is? I think we've got a banner on here, and it is definitely blocking. So let me see if I hide this. There we go. That's us now. We are. So I'll go back, guys. Apologies. Hopefully everyone can see that fine now. Let me hide
we
this.
can see you now.
Perfect. There we go. And you would get through it in the end. So can you see now, Alvaro? I've just noticed you said there's nothing new. Can you see that now? Hopefully, someone can tell me that they can see that. That would be fantastic.
We can see agenda, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, just fly over the agenda again. We're going to talk about Untitled Locum, why are we doing this webinar, how to use technology to find the right shifts in seconds, the awkward thing of negotiating rates, how to find and keep work, and then how to manage a diary and keep track of bookings /ins. Thank you very much, everyone who's saying they can see now. It's very reassuring to know that we're actually talking live and you guys can see the presentation. Perfect. Thanks, guys. So what we usually do at the start of the webinar is, what do you want to get out of this? So all comments you want into the comments section, and at the end we'll either go back and answer those questions if we haven't already answered them, or we'll tackle them straight away. So feel free to fire your comments in of what you want to get out of the webinar, and I will continue on with the presentation, and then we'll come back to those in a few minutes. So first up, who are located Locum? Why are we doing this webinar? Why am I here tonight at 6:30 on a Wednesday talking to you guys? Well, our mission is to mobilize the world's healthcare workforce. And what does that mean? It means that we want to get the right person in the right place at the right time. So the right person is you guys who are on this, optometrists. The right place is the opticians, and the right time is wherever you want it to be. So that means that the ball is in your court in terms of how our technology interacts with your life. We are an award-winning online platform, so we connect healthcare professionals with organisations across the UK. We're used by over 25,000 healthcare professionals. We're primarily, and we started in the pharmacy market, but more and more over the last year, we've moved into the optometry market, and we now have a lot of optometrists using us on a daily basis. We're used by over 8,000 healthcare organisations. Now that's right from the big multiple organisations right down to the small independents who might need one locum optometrist once every year. We are also the top-rated, one of the top-rated locum apps in the UK, with over 100 5-star reviews on the App Store and Google Play. And if we haven't given it away already, we have a desktop version and a mobile app, so you can use both. So how does it actually work in practice? So really simple from a locum's point of view. So you can sign up in a matter of minutes. So you can sign up using the mobile app, either download the app or go to our website and sign up. You'll be asked for your name, email address, all the usual things you do when you sign up for things. And then what happens is you create a profile. So you sort of should look at this like your online CV. So the way LinkedIn acts is as your online CV, this could act as your work CV. So we need 3 essential documents for you guys to get started. So we need your GOC number, we need DBS, and that's your police check to ensure that you're safe to work. And we need some indemnity insurance, and that's just to make sure you're covered in case there's any slip-ups at the opticians. So what happens is this is all displayed on your profile. And once your profile is 100% complete, our compliance team internally will approve you. So the thing here is that we have an internal compliance team. They're not just there to put blockers in place for you to work. They're there to help you get approved and help you get shifts. So they will actively be helping you get the documentation and the accreditations that you need to get high-paying locum shifts. Once you're set up and approved, we'll let you know pretty soon after we give you the thumbs up, and then you're free to apply for shifts using the mobile app. So I think Justina just told me before, we just had 8,000 new optometrist shifts and a couple of thousand CLO shifts uploaded to the platform either today or tonight. It's coming, Justina?
It's after 9 p.m. It's a big upload for the new fresh shifts available. So yes, it will be about 8,000 uploaded tonight. So yeah, keep an eye on our shifts and get the ones that you want to apply for.
So, early bird catches the worm and all that. So so get on as soon as they're uploaded. We operate all across the whole of the UK. So I'm going to talk about this a little bit more about how to actually see the shifts that are applicable to you. But you can go on and have a browse for various locations, and then the way the shifts are laid out, you can see on the left here is that you get a map, you get shift details, you get the rate, the day rate, the times, the breaks that are included, any systems that you need to be aware of, all on the app. You click into that and you can see that at a glance. And then all you do is you press apply, and that sends the application through to the shift coordinator or one of our team who helps place you into that shift. And then you'll get a notification back saying if you've been successful in your shift application. So although I've talked about it there for a few minutes, this could all happen seamlessly in about 45 seconds. And you could be booked in, and you could sort out your whole working week in about 5 minutes. So that's one of the benefits of kind of using a technology platform like ours to find your locum shifts. So yeah, hopefully that's a whistle stop tour of what we do and who we are. So now I'm going to talk about like why do you have to use technology? It's a strange thing, you know. People often can get set in their ways and do things in an old-fashioned way, or you know, phone up opticians and look for shifts, or they could be on WhatsApp groups, or you could just be getting sent spreadsheets to you, and you have to filter through, you have to sift through them and look for the shift. So what we find, especially for healthcare professionals, you guys are all busy, so we want to present you the information that's most applicable to you. So that's part of the reason why you build up a profile, because when you build up a profile, you create your sort of persona, and you create the things that you need in order to have a successful, happy work life. So we try and help you do that. So firstly, whenever you're finding shifts, our platform allows you to filter shifts. So it allows you to filter by distance. So you could say, oh, I only really want to work within 10 miles of my house. So you filter by distance of a postcode. You can sort by rate. You can filter by systems that you're familiar with. You can even filter by the organizations you want to work through. So that sort of helps you find what you want quickly. And then we also say that we help you see what you want to see. So we do this by, you know, when you log onto your Facebook app, you've got a notifications panel. Well, it's exactly the same as Located Locum. You set up what you want to see and how you want to see it. So whenever you log onto the app, you have a little panel and you'll have little alerts with a little red button. You click onto that and you'll see the shifts that you want to see. So shifts in your area, or shifts at a certain rate, or shifts from a certain employer will be displayed to you. But this is all based on the preferences that you set up. And again, this is something that's really quick. And it just sort of makes sure that you're not sifting through irrelevant shifts. And again, I know a lot of people find their shifts on WhatsApp groups and communication methods like that, and SMSs. But you know, you might be presented with 50 shifts, and you might be busy and you might miss them. But what our app allows you to do is look on the app at a time that suits you and look at shifts that are available right now, and allows you to book in or apply for the shift within a couple of seconds. So it really just eradicates the noise and makes things a lot more straightforward for you whenever you're trying to find shifts. So that's kind of like the reason to use technology. Here's a little bit of a look at our platform, and this is the desktop version. So what you can see here is I filtered it by optometrists after the 7th of December in London, and I've kept it within 50 miles, and I've had a descending rate. So you can see there's a couple of shifts. When you click view more into that, you get all the shift detail, and then you can apply either from desktop or through the app. And again, this is what I was talking about in terms of notifications. This is the live view of the app. So one of the best things about the app is we also have an emergencies panel. So these are the higher paying shifts for locums, but they're obviously much more urgent. So say you've become free on a certain day. You now don't have a thing to do that you were going to do, so you become free and you actually have a full day where you can find shifts. You could go under our emergency section of our app and get a high paying shift at late notice. Or likewise, you could plan much further in advance. So this is the picture of how that looks. So you click on it. Yeah, I've got a couple of questions coming through, but I'll come to those at the end. Thank you, Alicia. So you can filter notifications and cancel out the noise. So that's just showing you how it looks. And then this is the search page, but the thing that I'm highlighting here is you can keep track on your mobile device of the shifts you've applied for, the shifts that you've been booked for, and the shifts that you've worked. And what that means is you've got a live view of your working life within your pocket at all times, because let's be real, like who doesn't have their phone on them at any time anymore? So it allows you to manage your work life via your mobile phone and get live shift information at your fingertips. So someone might ask you, what are you doing next week? And you can look and see what you've applied for, see what you're booked for, or look back at a glance and want to see what you worked in the previous month. And you can do that through the mobile app. So yeah, this is a really fantastic feature. It'll also show you what shifts you've been unsuccessful in your applications, and this does happen. You do apply for shifts and you're unsuccessful. We usually say apply for 4 shifts for any one day, and our technology will make sure you're never double booked. So it's smart. It'll look at the dates and make sure it doesn't double book you. So there's no fear there. Justine, sorry, were you gonna say something there about the?
Apologies. If we're applying for the shift, I think it's also worth to add what we notice is the trend that quite a lot of locums like doing stayaways, which means you are picking different locations. This app will allow you to check different locations. If you're interested in stayaways, you will also see the shifts outside your region. You can compare the rates, and you can pick the highest rates for stayaways. We also accommodate that through the app.
Yeah, and I think if anyone's not familiar with stairways, this is a large block booking, and where you're doing multiple days in a different location. And often what will happen is the organisation who are looking for the optometrist cover or the CLO cover will also pay your travel and your accommodation. Isn't that more often than not the case, Justina?
Yes, all the rates are much higher, which means that the accommodation is included in rates, but it depends what area you are looking for. What we noticed, sometimes the locums are doing 2-in-1, so they take the family for holidays to Lakeland, and at the same time they pick few shifts, so it obviously works together. There's so many advantages that I'm more than happy to walk you through, as I said, if you reach out to us individually.
Yeah, and I mean, like, let's face it, like, how often are people getting away these days? You may as well fit your work life around traveling. And there's some pretty good locations, isn't there? Just, you know, there's some Lake District trips, Isle of Skye. So you can go to some scenic places, and you can maybe fit in a couple of day trips around your shifts. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And if anyone wants to know more about that, like afterwards, we can either send out the blocks that we've got, or you can look on the app and look at the stairways. So just moving on to the next section. Hopefully that's covered what everyone was hoping, like looking at technology and looking at our technology. The other thing that our app allows you to do is negotiate through the app, and this was a massive thing that we implemented maybe a year ago. People called for this for a long time. You know, the old traditional method of negotiating a shift was phoning a coordinator or phoning an optician directly. And there's always that awkward conversation. You say, you know, like, I think I would do it, but for this rate. So what we took the feedback from a lot of our locums, and we implemented this into the app and created a new feature called rate negotiation. So this gives you the ability to negotiate a shift rate through your mobile device or on desktop, and it means that you're never really going to miss out on a shift that you want to do. And direct communication with the shift coordinators, who have the ability to either accept or decline your shift negotiation. So what this means is they can reject it, but then they can say, oh, we'll meet in the middle and do this rate, or you can put notes in and you can request a certain rate, and you can justify why you want that rate, and it takes away the whole telephone ping pong, where you're phoning up and they're phoning in, and there's the back and forward. So you can almost get instant notification whether you're successful for that shift based on your negotiation. And it also means that you're much more likely to find out quicker, rather than you phoning up and then saying, oh, we'll get back to you, and they don't, because it's almost as awkward for them phoning back and saying no than it is for you requesting it. So that's one thing that we found, and this feature has gone down really well with the current locums who are using our platform. Everyone seems to really like it. And we've had some really positive feedback, not just from locums, but from shift coordinators and things as well, who like the way it works, who like the instant communication with locums. And this is how it looks. So on the mobile app, you can click into any shift. You've got the ability to apply now at the rate advertised, or you can click the blue button, negotiate. So these are just figures to illustrate. So I don't think there'll be many shifts that'll be £18. So you can put in the proposed rate, and you put it in, and you can put in mileage and expenses on occasion as well. So once you put in the proposed rate, you simply send the negotiation, and that fires it through to the coordinator. And then you can then see on your shift tab all the shifts that you've negotiated. And then you can also have the ability to cancel negotiation, but I don't think this happens very often, Justina. Does it?
No,
No.
it doesn't.
But yeah, hopefully that illustrates just how it works. And again, like, I would encourage you guys to ask questions about this if you want any more clarity on how it works, or even go onto the app and filter by optometrist and look at this and look at the shifts and negotiate and see what happens and just use it functionally. And if you're not approved on our platform, it doesn't actually go through to the coordinators just yet, and so you have to be approved for it to go through. But we can get you approved as soon as you're ready. So we spoke to a few locums before, and before the webinar, and I collated this. We collated these 7 points of things to sort of help you find and keep work in 2022. So number 1 came out: complete your profile. So with Located Locum, you get a profile. We tell you the percentage it's completed by. So it's similar to like when you set up your LinkedIn profile that you're all using now. It tells you how far along you are in the step-by-step process of completing your profile. So we would always say to make sure your profile is 100% complete. Add any accreditations, add your university, add your skill set, add any systems that you're really knowledgeable about, because ultimately this will help you get booked as an optometrist or CLO or dispensing optician with Located Locum. And the more full and the more information that the coordinators have whenever you apply for a shift, the more likely they are to book you. And again, update your availability regularly. So we have an in-house team of this changing. It's changed, growing all the time. So I think, is there 8 of us internally just in the operations team now?
Will be yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what these guys do is they can help pair you up. Obviously, we're a technology platform, and we like you guys to use everything as self-serve and looking through technology and booking instantly. But if you have availability and you want our expert team who know the gaps for the health organizations, if you know your availability, I'd get in touch with the team and tell them, and they can help source you shifts as well as you having to look through the app. And that's what we say.
Yeah, we can actually create the gaps for you. So if you're available for certain dates, what we can do, we can propose that to the client, and then the client can move other locums or permanent members of staff, and they can create the gap for you. So if you like particular store, it's good to know, let us know about that, and we can hopefully create more gaps for yourselves.
Yeah, and I think that came out. The reason this is listed here is that came out of a couple of the locums who we spoke to before doing the webinar said that's how they got the majority of their shifts. You know, they made sure that we were always aware of their availability, or the different organizations were aware of their availability as well. Because if organizations have gaps, they will try and get you fitted in somewhere. So, and then number 3 was a pretty simple one: make a good impression when you go and do your shift. So this is probably the more on the side of how to keep work. So whenever you go and work, make a good impression, introduce yourself to the team, write a good handover. If there's anything anyone needs to be aware of, you know, make sure they are. Number 4 is download the app. So some people use desktop. It's become more and more rare now. So use the app to book shifts in under a minute. Like we said before, it's sort of instantaneous. You can apply and you can be booked within a minute. So it's kind of a no-brainer. And also, like I say, you have your schedule in your pocket, and you have all the shift information in your pocket at all times. And then number 5 is something I touched on before. So apply for more than 1 shift on a day. Like I said, on our platform, you can't be double booked. So it's impossible. Technology just doesn't allow it. So I would say apply for 4 shifts. Looking at across all our data, we say apply for 4 shifts to have more chance of being booked for 1. I think that we're kind of going to answer a question here, number 6. So yeah, be registered with relevant systems. So if there's any systems that the opticians use, make sure you're aware of them. We have a full help center at Located Locum, so we've collated a lot of the system guides, and if there's maybe anything we don't have in our help center, we're happy to research it and get it on there, so that you can either do your research on the system, or you can read up on the help guides, and you're as prepared as possible for the shift. Number 7 is apply for shifts far in advance. So like we have live shifts up until May 22. Hopefully, maybe even further advanced, like once these 8,000 go on, Justina. But yeah, so May 22 and beyond, and so you can book right up there. And I know you guys are very keen to get your diaries booked in advance and make plans around where you're working. So I would say apply for as many shifts in advance, and that again, that came from the locums that we talked to before the webinar. And these guys are some of the most successful ones we have on our books. So yeah, really encourage that. So hopefully that's 7 tips that you guys can implement almost immediately. So yeah, I'm just really aware of time. It's supposed to be half an hour, and we've got 5 minutes left, but I will keep going if that's okay with everyone. If everyone wants me to stop, just tell me in the comments, and I will. So the next section is about managing your diary and finances. So people don't know this, but we have a full diary system that you can look at and you can use on the mobile app and on desktop. And this is how it looks. And the really fantastic thing about this is it automatically puts the shifts that you're booked into your diary, and it puts the rate associated with those shifts. So it starts to calculate your income per month, which is amazing because people at a glance can see how much they've made a month, and they can organize their life. As well as that, even if there's shifts that aren't through Located Locum, you can also put those in your diary, and it will add the figures in terms of the rates, in terms of the income you've got to the income in that month. And it'll also, you can also, and I'll keep adding extras here, but you can also add in personal items as well and block availability, so you know that you shouldn't book a shift on that date. So this is a really nice feature, and helps you organize your work life. It helps you see what income you've got any month. It helps you see what shifts you've been booked into, and retrospectively you can go back and you can also see when and where you worked. So say for example you're chasing an invoice and you're looking back and you want to know what shifts you did in November, for instance. You can go back, you can click on a date. If it's blocked out purple like this, you can see, and that will bring up the shift details. So that'll tell you the location of where you worked. That'll tell you the rate you should have expected, and it'll also have any notes that you've put in as well. So really fantastic way to organize not only your work life, but also your personal life. And like I said before, you have your phone in your pocket at almost all times, so you can review that in your pocket. So yeah, kind of gone through this just by speaking over that diary. So you can keep track of income and payments and finances. We also have created an invoice template for Locum Optometrists and CLOs and dispensing opticians, and that can be found on one of our latest blogs, which I'll link to everyone afterwards. So we put that together, so you can download that and you can use that, and it's the format that the organizations want you to put the invoices in at. So hopefully that helps. We can also recommend really great accountants, and we can recommend discounted accountants once you use our services. And you can avail that discount just through Located Locum. There's links again in some of our blogs. So really good tips to help you keep track of your diary and finances. Hopefully that's given enough information about that. And if anyone has any questions again about the diary, how to track your finances, let me know. I'm sure with almost 25,000 locums, there's probably not a question that we haven't heard before around finance and diaries. So we're happy to answer them and happy to help. Again, more things we've collated from, very aware of time, more things we've collated from our locums. So 5 tips on successfully organizing your life as a locum. Number 1, plan your day. Real self-explanatory. If you're booked into a shift, the night before the shift, Google Map it. Look at where the location of the optician. Look if there's parking. Look if there's good bus routes. If you're getting public transport. Yeah, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Our app will help you do that because there's a map within the app, so you can look at the app and zoom in on the opticians, and you can find exactly where you're going. Number 2, bring equipment. So part of being organized is sort of being prepared for every eventuality. And this came from one of our really great locums. They said they bring their equipment, they leave it in the car, they have it named and stamped, and if the organization they're working for doesn't have that equipment on site, they run out of their car and get it. So they just prepare for every eventuality. So arriving at your shift is a great tip. Again, introduce yourself to managers and staff members. It's just courteous, and also if you introduce yourself, it's going to sort of break the ice straight away, especially if it's your first time in that opticians. And then get comfortable with systems. Again, touched on this very briefly. Log into the practice system and take a few minutes to get comfortable. And pre the shift, you can look in our help center and you can read all the guides. And if, like I said, if there's something that we don't have but you want to know about, we'll do everything we can to get it for you. And then number 5, before you leave the practice, check with the person in charge to see if there's anything you need, or if you need to give them a copy of the invoice. Often with the larger organizations, there'll be a process in place, but if the smaller independents might actually require a copy of the invoice. So make sure you've got our template downloaded, printed, and you can always fill it in by hand if you need to. Hopefully, again, those tips are useful. So here's a couple of little perks for optometrists, CLOs, and dispensing opticians. As part of the Located Locum platform, we offer a £100 welcome bonus. Absolutely no catch on this. When you work your first shift, we give you £100 once you've completed that shift as a nice hello and thank you for using Located Locum. So once you sign up, apply and work, you'll get it on the 15th of the next month after your shift. And we've paid out a few of those already, so really fantastic. We also have an unlimited £40 refer a friend offer. So if you have any friends who are optometrists, CLOs, dispensing opticians, it's completely unlimited. So you can get £40 for every single friend you refer. And again, unlimited. There's people in our Locum community who make about £400 a month from referring all our university friends. So it's almost a second job to them. They don't even need to worry about it anymore. So it's really good. And then we also have a community perks and rewards platform. So there's a Located Locum community. We offer vouchers, Amazon vouchers, and we have a little mini league table for the locums who work on those shifts. We offer CPD, discounted certificates, discounted accreditations. Your DBS can be paid after you work a certain amount of shifts as part of the community. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I'll be sending an email anyway after the event. Let me know if you're interested, and I can give you a little bit more information. So I think that is it. Really flew through that those last 3 minutes. Aware of time. I didn't take a breath, but hopefully that was really useful. And I'm happy to take a few questions if anyone wants to fire any questions in the comments section. So Alicia's asked, do you still? We'll show these. I think this is pretty cool. You can see this. It's really cool. Do you still have to sign locum contracts with multiple separately? Justina, can you help with that one?
Yes. So basically, you don't. We can pay you directly. Basically, whenever you complete the shift, you can send us an invoice, and we will pay you directly from Located Locum. Then we'll charge the client. So no, you don't. You can, but you don't have to. You don't have to wait for being fully registered with other clients in order to get paid. So no, you'll be getting paid instantly.
Perfect. Thank you, Justina. Hopefully that answers the question, Alicia. If not, you can elaborate on. There's no more questions so far in the comments box, probably because we've run over time and everyone's away for their dinner now. So if there's any questions post the event, really happy to answer them. I'll send up the details. I'll send afterwards the details of how to sign up for the platform. Again, if you haven't already signed up, I'd really encourage you to do that. There's another question. I'll get that up here, Justin. You can maybe help with this.
Yeah.
How is rate calculated? Is lunch hour included when calculating day rate, as this can be misleading?
No, the rate will be calculated. Yes, it's like it's 8.5 hours is the full shift, but you can always ask me about the details. The lunch is normally unpaid.
Yeah.
But the hours for the shift are included in the shift information. So you've got the rate per hour, and you've got total number of hours. If it's 8.5 hours, that's what you are getting paid for 8.5 hours.
Yeah, perfect, Justina. I think, Naeem, it's pretty on the shift details on the app. It's pretty comprehensive of what it covers. So it'll detail any of that. So it'll detail if the lunch is paid or not. And then I think our app's still showing the hourly rate, but then that's calculated as a total day rate. But you can see the day rate if you click into the shift details as well. So hopefully that answers it. I'll give 30 seconds more to round it up to a nice 35-minute webinar for any questions. But just while we're waiting, I'd just love to say thank you to everyone who's registered. Like, I didn't expect to have over 100 people register for the event, and I'm really happy that you've all attended and made the effort. I know how busy everyone is, and especially the run up to Christmas on a Wednesday evening. So really appreciate everyone attending. And And hopefully it's been useful. And thank you very much, Justina, for also being involved as well and giving up your evening.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So yeah, guys, that's the 35 minutes. I'm gonna end the broadcast now. Like I say, there's always we're here. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm always hanging about in social media. So if you guys want to ask any questions, I'm pretty responsive in my inbox. So really do fire me a message, and I'm happy to answer, because most of you guys have already received a message from me at one point. So I will wrap up now. So thank you very much again, and have a really great evening and the rest of the week, guys. Cheers.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Justina. Bye.
Bye.